My name's Tom.
And I'm Peter.
And we are two plebs talking about... California.
Yeah, this week in the DPRC.
We're still getting really excited about that.
Oh,
Though, I guess to be fair, this is kind of an exciting week.
it is.
This is like, who likes to say I told you so?
Pretty much. Pretty much.
And
I'm sorry, I look forward to this segment now.
Mm.
Because who doesn't like poking fun at themselves?
Well,
We do live in California. We are poking fun at ourselves.
Well, sort of. But before we get really too far off topic, enjoying the plight of California, Jeff Sessions is suing,
The state of
the
California.
state of California, the mayor of Oakland, and probably about 90 other people.
Just to start it off.
Right.
That's just the tip.
To some degree. Oh, he is playing just the tip with California. So, in the world of the most unsurprising news that has ever happened, because I think in 3 separate shows at this point, we said, this is going to happen if you keep going.
Right.
So,
We have said, by the way, this is going to happen. Better get your booty plate on.
right. So, when we did the This Week in the DPRC, when they did the employers have to impede federal investigations, that's not a good thing. And the feds are going to tell you can't do that. And then when the mayor of Oakland, said...
announced that ICE is coming.
Right, I'm pretty sure that that's obstruction of justice.
Yeah.
I mean, and there was another one in there, but for the life of me, off the top of my head, I cannot remember it. So...
Sanctuary.
I'm sorry, you're just going to have to go back and watch all of the This Week in the DPRCs to find out.
No, the whole sanctuary do not cooperate with ICE stuff.
You're not helping.
What?
You're not helping.
How am I not helping?
You're killing me, Smalls. Anyway, carrying on.
Okay.
So, he is suing over exactly these things, right? And not the least of which is to get rid of the sanctuary laws to begin with.
Right.
Now, there are a wide variety of legal arguments on both sides at this point.
Yes.
One side's argument effectively comes down to supremacy clause, civil war.
Yeah.
The other side's legal arguments come down to, no you.
Yeah.
And
that's offensive.
Yeah, that's part of it. So that's offensive. And in 1990, some sheriff somewhere got the Supreme Court to say that he didn't have to conduct background checks for firearm sales if he didn't want to. And so, therefore, and that's the only actual legal argument that is being presented on that side.
Mm-hmm.
So, there's that. But, therefore, because this sheriff got this ruling in 1990, I think it's 90, doesn't really matter. It was a while ago. No, 97 or 98. Had to be, because it was in relation to the Brady campaign. Anyhow.
Yes.
So, because that happened, therefore, states can do whatever they want when it comes to enforcing federal law.
Right.
And that's effectively the argument. Now, look, if that's all they were saying, then I think they'd have a good case. Honestly. Look, if a sheriff got the Supreme Court, and I read the opinion, he did, to say, look, I don't have to conduct background checks, pound sand. And the answer effectively came down to, you're right, you don't.
Well, was it ever the sheriff's responsibility to perform background checks to begin with?
For an hour before we got Nix, yeah. So, that was supposed to be the stopgap, right?
Okay.
Until we had Nix.
Gotcha.
And the sheriff said, I'm not doing it. And he won in court.
Okay.
So, the only other argument, by the way, that the sanctuary pro what have you guys have is that we've won lots against Trump in court. Okay.
You have?
Right?
And what do you consider a win?
Well, so basically what they did when they started aggregating their wins is, well, when we got a federal judge in California to say X, we won. Like, well, yeah, and then it goes to an appellate court. I don't know if you know how the court system works, Attorney General, but
Right.
one federal judge in California does not make ruling that cannot be superseded.
Nope.
So, and your track record with SCOTUS is ambiguous, but not really going in your favor.
No.
So, I mean...
No, there has not been much in the way of victories.
Right. So, I mean, if that's what they want to go with, then okay, bank on it. But even let's say that's true, if I get charged with 1,000 crimes over my life, and I win every single case... That doesn't mean tomorrow when I shoot someone, I'm going to get off because I've won 1,000 cases.
No, it does not.
But regardless, back to our sheriff's ruling here. So their argument is, well, state and local law enforcement does not have to enforce federal immigration. And they're probably right.
Right.
I mean, look, though, to be fair, no one is telling them to, right?
Right, that's the thing. No one's telling them they have to.
So, now, somebody's going to say, but, Arizona sheriff, whose name I have summarily forgotten, the one that was sheriff for, ever, that keeps getting accused of racism, Joe Arpaio.
Yeah.
But he was enforcing immigration laws. Well, does not have to, does not mean can't.
Correct.
So...
They can.
Right. But they don't have to. Which, if that's what the law said, they'd be on pretty sturdy ground.
Right.
But that's not what it says. It says they will explicitly help those that ICE has a warrant for evade being detained.
And that's obstruction of justice. That's different.
Yeah. But how's this playing out in the media?
Oh, they're saying that the immigration in our current government is evil and they're breaking the law.
Right.
This is unlawful action from them.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, last time I checked, the Constitution gave them the authority to defend our borders.
Right.
And that's all they're trying to do.
Well, so what's most relevant in this situation is the lawsuit, right?
Right.
Because let's face it, ICE can try and do whatever they want, and California can try and do whatever they want, and until somebody brings the suit, keep doing what you're doing.
Right.
Well, now somebody brought the suit.
Mm-hmm.
Now, to give relative credence to the hopes of the entire, seemingly, California state government, you can sue as ham sandwich, doesn't mean you're going to win.
Right.
On the other hand, you have laws on the books that explicitly tell citizens and or state agencies to obstruct justice.
Yeah.
Now, by the way, this is Sessions' argument, right?
Right.
You don't... You may not like federal law. No, you don't have to go out of your way to assist, right?
Right.
But...
Basic functions.
Almost like he watches the show, the
Right.
speech he gave in California was, what if this was the EPA? What if this was OSHA?
Mm-hmm.
Would we be okay with that?
No.
Everyone would lose their mind. But because this is a topic where you think the law is bad, the answer isn't to change the law, which is what you tell the other side, dear California. If you don't like it, go change it.
Or get out.
Right. But in this case, you don't like the law, therefore I do what I want.
That's never the appropriate answer. Either A, you get it changed, or B, you get the fuck out.
Mm. To which Sessions also spoke to, there is no secession.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, not really surprised.
No.
I think we've joked a few times that a lot of the country would probably be like, well, we lost California.
You know, I've been checking out some message boards related to those articles. They would be throwing a party that we lost California.
Right. Shucks, are the hookers and beer here yet?
Right?
So, I mean, you know, all I'm saying is that we're not popular with the rest of the country that way. But
no, we are not.
The feds are probably not going to let this happen, right? And for good reason. No less, that sort of pushes us to where we are now.
Mm-hmm.
Which is to say, this suit is coming, and don't get me wrong, the Attorney General is, in fact, an attorney.
He is.
And so probably has a better understanding of the law than me, because I am a pleb.
Correct.
However, I note that the Attorney General of the United States made the exact same argument that I did, so I don't feel too bad about my legal standing.
No. Not at all. When you go like, is he one of our subs?
You know what I mean? And so, like, I don't know what California is expecting here. Like, don't get me wrong. I fully expect that this will go to some crazy judge in probably Sacramento and will get ruled as California can do whatever it wants. Because seemingly, if you put a federal judge in California too long, that's effectively what they rule.
Yeah.
It'll probably go to the ninth, who will do the same thing. Because if you have listened to, as I have, because I am a dork, if you have listened to the discussions that the Ninth Circuit has had about things they've ruled on with Trump, and then read their rulings, what you find out real quick is that even those writing the opinion contradict things that they said in discussion.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, I'm not saying that the Ninth Circuit is politically motivated activist douchebags, but I mean...
Seems like it.
If you said it, I wouldn't argue, is all I'm saying. But
right.
Regardless, you know, it'll probably go there, and then it's going to go to SCOTUS, right? It's going to. And this is going to take 2 years. At least.
Yeah.
Because chances are good. What's his name? Jerry Brown openly came out the day after Sessions was here and said, hey, we're going to try and drag this out until past the end of Trump's presidency.
How can he say that? He's on the way out. He's going to be out before the end of Trump's presidency.
Yeah, that was the first thing I said.
Unless he's changed his mind about retiring.
But more importantly, saying that sort of thing in open fora is not a good way to ingratiate yourself to judges.
No.
Like, because...
That's usually when they go look like, you know, I think some time just opened up much further up on my docket.
And... look, I mean, hey, if you want to say that's your political strategy, then go ahead. But, you know, when a judge goes, well, prior judges have said that we need to take what Trump said about a Muslim ban away from what was actually in his arguments or laws, and you said you're going to delay this trial for political reasons, therefore any extensions are denied, don't be too upset.
Right?
Because, by the way, I keep saying, stop setting precedent you're not going to like when it's turned on you.
And here it is.
Because...
ready to go.
If Sessions wants to go down the same road as everybody did with the Muslim ban, right? Mm-hmm. Well, Trump said he wants a Muslim ban, therefore anything he does in relation to Muslims is a Muslim ban. Jerry Brown said he wants open borders.
Yeah.
In no uncertain terms.
Right.
Very clearly reiterated it, has screamed it at people directly in their face in Europe a couple of times. Does that mean that every single one of these laws, well, Jerry Brown said he wants open borders, so he is clearly attempting to circumvent federal law?
He is.
He is clearly standing in the way of ICE doing their jobs. He is supporting a group of people who are doing the same. Does that mean this is a RICO case? Does that mean every politician in California gets to get charged? Because if they treat him the same way they did Trump, the answer is yes.
Yeah.
So, quit setting precedent you don't want used against you.
Right.
All I'm saying.
Because, yeah, they set the precedent. It can now bite them in the butt. It's like people don't think a step ahead.
Well,
what are the potential repercussions?
How many times have we talked about California not being able to think to the lifting their foot, let alone step ahead portion.
Right.
Like, I mean,
they do at least check the poo app to make sure we're not a step.
Only some.
Well, the app's only in San Francisco right now.
True, but
there's other cities working on it.
I did catch an article that said they were expanding to San Diego.
Like I said, they're working on it.
Right.
Because San Diego has a website now.
Oh, yeah?
There's just not an app associated to it.
Oh, that's terrible.
So, they're getting there.
Ugh, California.
Yes.
I hate you. Anyway, so the best part of this, by the way, and the legal argument that I gave earlier for why, the sheriff, right, came from the New York Times, not from our Attorney General.
Right.
So maybe he's got another one up his sleeve, but when he talks, what he says is California can do whatever it wants.
Mm-hmm.
Again, if I am permitted to consider your not in court statements based on precedent that other judges have set, specifically here in California, that have as yet to be overturned.
Yep.
Because it's going to be the same line of judges all the way up, then every single step along the way until we get to SCOTUS, and SCOTUS says, no, you can't do that.
Yep.
Then it's going to be, well, these people have said they won't open borders. This is admissible according to the entirety of every single Ninth Circuit ruling about whether or not Trump's Muslim ban was a Muslim ban.
Yeah.
So, either you're overturning your prior ruling, in which case it's not a Muslim ban, ready to go, or I get to say that they are intentionally skirting federal law.
Because they have,
and they need to go to jail.
Because they have directly stated so.
Right.
It's like, we're going to do what we want, and we're going to drag this out in court for as long as we can.
Right. And look, as the guy who said, you shouldn't do this. Don't do it. It doesn't matter what he says. It matters what he does.
Yeah.
Well, now we're in a position where they could probably keep a lot of the premises of the sanctuary state law, which is to say, look, we won't enforce federal immigration at a state or local level.
Right.
Not going to happen.
That's up to ICE.
Right. It's their job. There's a reason they have it. They can do it. And if they would have stopped there, they'd have probably been okay.
Mm-hmm.
But now, they went too far, and they've said outside of the law things that clearly state what they're trying to do is circumvent federal immigration law.
Yeah.
So now, based on what they have done before, that I said, don't do this. Do you have any idea how bad this is? And what I got told was, nuh-uh, we need to take the totality of the person to determine what it is that they were doing.
Okay.
Even if that's not what the text of the law says.
It's like, okay.
Well, okay. Then what they did is they created an open borders law in direct circumvention of federal law, and they need to be imprisoned.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's like, and they set it up that way.
And it is all their precedents that will be used to do this.
Yeah.
And by the way, I'm not really for that. I mean, in this one particular instance, I love to see people get bit in the ass by their own stupid action. Right. That makes me happy. But look, at this point, what are we incentivizing? No politician will ever tell us anything about a law again. They'll just pass it.
Yeah.
I don't think that's a good thing.
It's not.
But if you say one wrong word on the campaign trail now, if you say one wrong word in a press briefing.
Yep. Or a private conversation with anonymous leaks.
Right. Then there it is, right? If someone else says something about it, that can be used against you.
Yeah.
So now government transparency will end.
It's almost like you're not free to speak anymore.
And that's the end of our show for the day.
That's right. It's taco time.
However, before we go, we'd appreciate it if you shared us around.
You can find us on YouTube,
BitChute,
Facebook,
Twitter,
Patreon,
and Maker Support.
Thanks for stopping by.